Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Sharon Augustine, thank you so much for being first. And let me see here. Okay, got to close that, move that over there, and I think we're good. Yes, that, that. Okay. Oh my. Okay. All right. So we're good. We are good. I just have to bring up my slides and we're good to go. Okay, 1 second for the slides. Please hold for slides. They are coming. I'm just always working on the slides until the absolute last minute. Because I'm always thinking I'm going to miss something. So it is one of those eccentricities that makes me um, interesting, I guess. I'll let you decide. All right. Okay, we're good. Oh no, are we? There we go. All right, now they're coming. All right. Thank you so much. I'll just say hi to everyone as I go along. As per usual, thank you for being here. And okay, come on, slides. Let's go. Oh, thank you, Kathy G. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Judy Matasid. Grace Chisholm. Special hello for Baron. Well, thank you very much. All right, now I feel bad that I skipped through all the greetings. Well, hello, squaddies. Well, hello, squaddies. It's so nice to see you here where you belong. Well, go to hell, squaddies. I needed something that rhymed. Um, Hi, Benny Blair, Judy Matasid, Antoinette Kennedy. What's that smell, squatties? What's that smell, squatties? I tell you, if I sit here and think of enough rhymes, I won't even have a show. You guys are probably going to leave. Hazel Jones, let's see. You fix your. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Iced tea as snacks settle in works perfectly. Okay. Um, well, that was gosh, what was it? When the slides were very weird, that was like something to do with the oh gosh, what is it? StreamYard. They were the one. They were tripping. They were tripping. So I'm glad they got that fixed. Yeah, you guys, if you ever are doing something on your computer and suddenly it just stops working, um, Google exactly what problem you're having, or go to Reddit or some other message board. And I guarantee you, if there is like a system wide failure, then other people will be talking about it as well. Another thing that's helpful is the with just about anything that you think is glitching, or if you think something is a scam, first of all, go and check all your balances. That's what I do. Whatever you have, check your balances and make sure. So if someone says attempted to, check it anyway. Um, don't take the scammer's word and just think that there's a problem immediately. If you have these things on your phone app, and some people don't, you may have to call into your bank or financial institution. Check your balances first before you panic. Check your balances, because what the scammers depend on is that you will go into a panic and start cooperating with them and losing money every step of the way. So do not panic. Just check the balance first and make sure that there has been no activity or any activity that you don't recognize. And then call the direct number for the financial institution or service that is affected. Again, do not take the scammer's word for it. Around this time of year, and I guess I should have had this conversation sooner, but around this time of year, there's always the, oh, you got something at the post office, the information is incomplete, and so on and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. Again, there's other ways you can verify these things. Get the, what is it? The account number, or what is it? The tracking number. You check the tracking number on their app or however you can check it. Um, Check those routing numbers before you respond to some rogue text message. How do they get your phone number? Who knows? If they don't know your name, that's a very big clue right there. Before you call someone back and give them information unnecessarily, there's other ways you can check first. It might seem like a lot of work, but do not trust that text message or email, especially when the grammar is very poor. That either means a scammer wrote it or I wrote it. If the grammar is bad, it's a good chance that it's a scammer, though, because um, a lot of times English is not their first language, or whatever country you're from. If it's not grammatically correct, then it's probably a scam. So do these things first. Check your account balance yourself. Make sure there has been no activity. Then call the bank or financial institution and say, hey, did you send me a message? But it's very important when it comes to if you're waiting for something to be shipped to you, keep that tracking number handy and check that tracking number and see where that thing is before you assume that text message is there to help you, because it's probably not. So, especially this time of year, they know people are shipping a lot of things and they want your personal information. They want to verify your credit card number. Ooh, that's a bad one. That is a bad one. They need your social security number and your name. And if you don't have that information already, I can't help you. Right? Okay. So just want to drill that in because I don't want you guys to get scammed. It's very hurtful. It's very painful. And sadly, some people have lost tens of thousands of dollars. I saw someone who had to move out of their house because they were scammed. Yep, they had to move out their house because they were scammed. So don't let that happen to you. All right. Okay, let me see who's here. Oh, yeah, I will pin that to the top of the chat. That's a good idea for the Royal Sussex membership. It is just a bargain, you guys. $4.99. I'm going to have to do some members only content. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some members only content. I promise I will keep my clothes on. I promise you, but I am going to do some members only content. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a mischievous mood tonight. All right. All right, so let's get on with it, shall we? So, um, there has been no mention of any Christmas card by the Sussexes, and I don't know. I think the idea of an official Sussex Christmas card may be a thing of the past. We'll see. Um, I want to say it would be about now, right? Or would it be too soon? I'm thinking it would be now, if ever. But then again, none of the Windsors have posted a Christmas card, so maybe we're a little bit too close. But I mean, it's only 10 days away, so um, there hasn't been one from Charles and Godzilla. Um, I say that like that's her name. I say that like it should be her name. Let me see, Royal Christmas card. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm checking to see. Okay, I can see here where the Cambridges, when they were the Cambridges, maybe theirs came out. Um, no. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what time of the month those cards have come out before. Yeah, but so far I don't think, let me see. Did okay, December 9th. Is this year or last year? Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, what I was trying to see is what date they've come out on, but I don't know. What if nobody puts out a Christmas card? All right, King Charles and Queen Godzilla share their 2024 Christmas card. So theirs has come out already. And of course, Camilla has something that zips up in the front. Um, Queen Zipper. She has something that zips up in the front. All right, nothing from the Waleses. And yeah, I don't think anybody else in the family has come out with one. So let's hope Harry and Meghan have something. They don't have to put the kids on it. This is like a screenshot from when that card came out. Lilibet's first Christmas, obviously. So I saved it, of course. Yeah, that blue dress. That blue dress. I wonder if she's trying to identify with some other fallen woman in history. I don't know. Um, and I find the zip front rather jarring for a woman of her maturity. Let's see. And I also get, I'm sorry, I also go back to the vendor. You made the purchase from the yellow, their tracking information, plus add notification. So, yeah, the notification is very good as well. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, Antoinette Kennedy. It's also, I do as many notifications as I can. I do just to see where things are. Okay, that is a good point. Follow the tracking. Get those notifications for the tracking. Okay, thank you so much for that. Now, here is the unseen photo. So Clarence Ruth, artist and founder of the Cote de Arm, Cote de Arm, Cote d'Arm, Cote. Yeah, I get. Oh, I think that's like a little wordplay, huh? Coat of arm, Cote d'Arm, met with Prince Harry at the Centre Ballet X Chi. Why does this say X? Centre Ballet X. Is the X for 10 years or just oh anyway? Centre Ballet X Chi Smith art exhibit in New York, and is proud to sponsor and collaborate with Kai Smith Galleries. Friend exhibition in support of Cinta Ballet. Oh, let me see here. Well, thank you very much for the PayPal. I really do appreciate that. Oh, don't worry, I won't say the name, but thank you very much for that. MB, I'll just say MBA. Oh, MBA. I like that. And I don't think there's a message with that one, but thank you very much. If it is, I don't see it, but thank you very, very much. Cheers and top of the morning to you. Okay. And to continue, there we go. Immense pride seeing my brother stand shoulder to shoulder with Prince Harry for such a great cause. Now, the other cool thing about this is that I had tried to share a video with you all before, and the sound was awful. So I'm going to try it again with this updated video, courtesy of the person who posted this. And oh yeah, there we go. I think this is going to work out. Now, hopefully this is not a repeat, but let's see how it goes.
You already know that your grandmother is winning when it comes to pieces sold, which is epic. Considering it's not even open till next week, well done, this is fantastic. I'm slightly new to the art world, so I'm not going to pretend as though I know something that I don't, but what I do know is the ability for the biggest.
Okay, now I am going to actually grab a second one, which is a little longer, and hopefully it does not repeat. I was not sure, but anyway, it's twice as long as the first one. So I'm just glad you can understand the words, because the first time I tried to share this, it was so muffled.
Goes to Key for putting this whole thing together. Just 2 months ago, we had Key out to Lesotho, small country landlocked by South Africa, for those of you that don't know. And I believe that you had a wonderful time. Don't worry, I'm not here to... I loved it. I'm not here to interview him. I'm really just here to intro him and the panel. But I and we, everybody at Cinta Ballet, are hugely grateful for you putting this together. You've been a joy, you and your team have been an absolute joy to work with. So we are massively grateful for that. And I already know that your grandmother is winning when it comes to pieces sold, which is epic. Considering it's not even open till next week, well done, this is fantastic.
All right, so there you go. That's a lot better. The first time I tried to share that, when it first happened, it was so muffled. That was not great, but it was so much better. So anyway, I love using this little New York streets backdrop that I use every time it's something New York. Although I got to find one for nighttime New York, but I love New York City. It just has such an amazing energy. And again, there you go. Let's see. Agnes, yeah. Those people. Prince Harry in an art gallery. And I kind of think this angle is different and new. I don't think I've seen this one before. So, and believe it or not, this was in People magazine, but it came out on the 5th of December. And I had some things going on at the time, so I probably missed a few things at that point, but there we go. There's something so cool about hanging out at the art galleries. They bring you wine and canapes, or some of those hors d'oeuvres. Yeah, they bring you a tray of hors d'oeuvres, and you just pick out what you want. Although I don't eat them, because I don't eat anything made out of horse meat, especially hors d'oeuvres. So, and of course, Dr. Sophie Chandaka, MBE, Kai Smith, Charlotte, Yahoo, is that right? And Rakuko Nato speak on a panel at Friends exhibit. Oh, you know what, Friends? Friends, that was the name of the exhibit. Wake up, Baron. What are you doing? Benefiting Cinta Ballet at Kai Smith Gallery in New York City. What's that? I forgot to mention also add the notification on your bank account. Now, I don't know how to do that. And credit cards through the vendor. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that is a good idea. That is a good idea. And thank you so much for this. After all, we do not want our squatties to be victims. It is such a downer when that happens. Yeah, I don't eat horse divers either. I don't like horse divers, according to Fred G's. I don't eat horse dervs or horse divers. Actually, I saw that on a movie. It was what was her name? I think she was like the mean kind of sassy housekeeper. She'd say, "I don't want nothing made out of horse meat, especially horse dervs, because I don't know what they are, and you don't either." Yeah, it was like this nouveau riche character who had never had money before. And she said, and make some of those horse dervs. She said, I'm not making nothing out of horse dervs. No, she said, I'm not making nothing out of horse meat, especially horse dervs, because I don't know what they are, and you don't either. But just for the record, it is hors d'oeuvres, not horse dervs, and not horse divers either. So anyway, we're just having some fun. And let's see, Prince Harry's Spare is the most streamed audio book in Australia. Spotify Rap 2024 reveals. That's right. It is the most streamed. Now that's what's his name's territory, isn't it? Rupert Murdoch, isn't he from Australia? For the first time, Spotify included audiobooks in its end of year charts, with the Duke of Sussex's Spare coming in the top spot. Prince Harry's memoir Spare has been crowned the most streamed audiobook in Australia on Spotify. The streaming giant announced its annual list of biggest hits in its Spotify Wrapped 2024. Overnight, for the first time, Spotify has included audio books in its end of year charts, with the Duke of Sussex's Spare coming in the top spot in Australia. Crikey. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Let's see. Heather Stroud, I am part of a family membership on YouTube, and I am unable to buy memberships for any channel. Oh, Heather Stroud, that's well, I mean, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Your likes and shares and what else? And of course, we always look forward to seeing you in the comments section. So no pressure. Really appreciate the thoughtfulness, though. And look who's here. Lauren Brown is in town. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, you guys, I do believe Lauren posted a new video. Was it yesterday? So if you take a look at the top of the chat, there is a link to Lauren Brown. Lauren Brown is not just about Harry and Meghan, but also lifestyle. So make sure you check out her channel. It is still a very Sussex-friendly space, and we need as many Sussex-friendly spaces as possible. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Lauren Brown. Okay. And to continue here, so check out that one right there. 10 audiobooks in the UK in 2024. And look at what's in the fourth place, Spare by Prince Harry. Yeah, Spare by Prince Harry is in fourth place. Now remember, it's not a new book. It's not a new book. And I forget which one of those tabloids the other day was like saying Harry was going to be devastated because Spare was not whatever number they said it was or should be. And I'm just like, okay, it's not a new book anymore. As a matter of fact, when the book first came out, the people who really wanted it the most already has it. So yeah, of course, Notebooks is going to have sales so terribly high after a year or two has gone by, but they try it anyway. We have a name for that. It's called clickbait. So, as I have often said, you guys do not let these people get into your psyche. They're trying to demoralize people with all of this negativity, and it is Christmas and the end of the year, the holiday season, and so on and so forth. And it's pretty soon going to be New Year's. So, um, for certain, please leave all that negativity behind in the coming year. We don't need it. Prince Harry Spare top 5 on UK Spotify Rap 2024 as audiobooks feature for the first time. So I guess when they say that the audiobooks are featured for the first time, I guess they're talking about every country where there is a Spotify. Be interesting to see a list for all of the countries to see where Spare is at this point. But like I said, yeah, I don't care if it's not number one anymore because it still holds the Guinness Book of Records for the fastest selling nonfiction in history. See, Prince Harry Spare, the most streamed. Okay, that was on Honey 9 TV. And of course, the very wise words of Sandy Sussex. I'm super proud of my fellow Australians. Congratulations to Prince Harry. For the first time, Spotify has included audiobooks in its end of year chart, with the Duke of Sussex's Spare coming in the top spot in Australia. Here, here. And check this out. That is Audible. Is Audible owned by Amazon? I wasn't sure. Here are some of the most listened to audiobooks in the UK in 2024. And of course, in a very prominent position, there is Spare yet again. How is Mike T book doing? What about British media? What the British media, one more time. What the British media say again. Yeah, they seem to think Mike Tendo is, well, he's one of the secret weapons, and everything that Mike Tendo is doing has been amplified only because he's married to his darling wife, Zara, the tongue ring Tendo, Zara Tendo, who just happens to have a tongue ring, no judgment. But Zara, the tongue ring Tendo, the only royal that we know of that has a tongue ring, um, the only royal woman that we know of that has been tattooed, I believe. And also the only royal woman that I know of who received a moving violation for exceeding 95 miles per hour. Didn't they take her license for a little while? That Zara Tyndall. Um, and of course, the only royal woman who I'm trying to find a decent way to say this. Well, what I'm alluding to, the only royal woman who has been so eager to embrace their husband, even after they went on one of those "I'm a celebrity, what am I doing here" shows, and was seen grabbing and squeezing other people in odd places. That's the first royal woman I've ever seen that rushed to the side of their partner. And yeah, anyway, you know what happened. Anyway, thank you so much, Lex, for the super chat. It's kind of hard to clean that one up, wasn't it? Oh, what is that? Is that the Oh, yes, you guys. I'm going to change the link at the top of the chat. Squatties, make sure you go over to IMDb and rate um, Polo, because there has been a string of people who have not even watched it that just got it in for the Sussexes that have gone over there to do the best they could to um, harm the great reviews, to overshadow the great reviews. So I'm gonna put that at the top of the chat. Um, so again, please make sure. Wait a minute. What did I do? Oh, there it is. You know what? I did not hit send. So there it is right there. The IMDb is at the top of the chat. Make sure you go. You can go right now if you need to, but go to the IMDb, find Polo, and give it a fair rating or the highest rating. Yeah, give it the highest rating because they have been over there wreaking havoc on the Polo, just like they did with the oh gosh, what was it? Oh, they were trying to do that with the Harry and Meghan docu series. Well, so actually, listen, the Derangers have done that to anything the Sussexes produce, and that is why we need you to go and give it your high rating to offset that nonsense. And if you see some kind of comment or something that does not seem, um, you know, correct or whatever, report it. Report it instead of taking on these people. I mean, you could do that too if you like. Just try not to get yourself in trouble, but report those things that are very unfair and gross and cruel and mean spirited. You can report those things, because they depend on the fact that they can get away with that stuff. So, again, thank you very much, Lydia Washington. All right. Hi, Ingrid Sowers. Thank you so much for being here. Now, a couple weeks ago, maybe more recent than that, I mentioned that Meghan did not even, well, actually, the Sussexes didn't even want to have a big wedding. They did not want it, which is why they exchanged the vows with Justin, what's his name, the Archbishop. That's why they did it privately, because they wanted to have something just for them. They wanted to confess their love and to promise their hearts to one another privately, not in front of cameras, not in front of the billion plus people that have watched the wedding, but just something for themselves. Now, I believe this to be true because, as we all know, Meghan had made the comment in the past that she intended to model her wedding like that of, what was it, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy? She wanted a very simple gown with clean lines and a very simple wedding. That was what she wanted. But because of Harry's popularity in that institution, only to be matched by Meghan's sudden popularity within the institution, or not within the institution, but within the country. I think the institution was playing both sides at the time. They were pretending to welcome Meghan, but the truth is they did not want her there. We know that. But they wanted something for themselves. But this article, which I am certain was briefed directly from Kensington Palace, directly from Buckingham Palace. They wanted a full wedding. Not exactly a state occasion, because Harry is not the heir to the throne, but something that came very close. Oh, thank you, Maurice Brown. 8 times. That's very commendable. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Antoinette Kennedy. I see that. All right. So it says here, royal wedding. Meghan Markle request for a private wedding was refused for this reason. Royal wedding, it is believed Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were forced to change their wedding due to public demand. Meghan had hoped for a more private wedding day away from the public eye, but public demand meant they had to rethink. In other words, there was an order from the top. Let's see, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's wedding day is just around the corner, but will Meghan get the private wedding she has reportedly asked for? We know the answer was no. Unlike the 2011 wedding of Kate Middleton and Prince William, the 600 guest ceremony will not be considered a state occasion. So, unlike their 2011 wedding, their 600 guest wedding will not be considered a state occasion. However, it seems Meghan has still had to make a compromise for. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that. Trying to make myself comfortable here. What did I leave off? Oh, however, it seems Meghan has still had to make a compromise for the wedding ceremony, which she reportedly wanted to be a much more private affair than Kate and Prince William. The couple have had to bow to public demand rather than have the more private wedding they wanted. An insider has revealed exclusively to the Express that means that someone from the palace briefed them directly. I am sure of that. This compromise centers around a particular element of the wedding, the carriage ride. The carriage procession will leave St. George Chapel at 1 p.m. and take a route around Windsor Castle. Around Windsor Town. I'm so used to saying castle, Windsor Town, according to a statement from, look at there. I was right. Kensington Palace. This is from Kensington Palace. If it was not, they could have told them to dispute it, but they did not, because we all know where it came from. They routinely brief directly to the tabloids. However, it would seem this is not what Meghan initially wanted for the wedding. The carriage wasn't going to happen, revealed an insider. Meghan wanted it to be their wedding. It was her request for it to be much more private than Kate and William's wedding. However, the couple were eventually forced to bow to public demand. The palace received thousands of letters saying the public want to be part of the wedding, said the insider. Now, I can believe that, because this was such a different marriage in comparison to everything that came before. So, of course, the public wanted to be a part of it. So Prince Charles said, "Can we do carriages like Prince Edward and Sophie?" And it was known Prince Edward and Sophie, Countess of Wessex, took a carriage ride around Windsor town on their wedding day, as Meghan and Harry will. The carriage ride was later announced in a Kensington Palace statement as a chance for the public to enjoy the atmosphere of this special day. And of course, that's how I was able to see Harry and Meghan the first time, was being near the carriage on the parade route after the wedding. I was all the way down at the end just before the carriage made that turn to go back up the long straightaway. So, Meghan love a private wedding ceremony reflects her first wedding to the film producer Trevor Eggleston took place in Ocho Rios, Jamaica in 2011. The couple invited just 102 guests to their wedding celebration, and the laid back ceremony took place on the beach. Yesterday, it was revealed that Prince Harry has asked Prince William to be his best man on the wedding day. Now, we all know that that was for the cameras. That was for the cameras. And I believe it was the same way on William's wedding day. Neither one of them privately wanted their brother to be best man. So that part of it was for the cameras. Oh, God help them. The Royals has asked. Okay, I'm done with that part of it because I don't even want to think about it. There's been a lot of banter, but it is 100% going to yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. They would have to throw that in at the end. And there it says Prince Harry was best man for William. Now, from what I recall, I think that was only best man for the camera, not in reality. Yeah, and Meghan never wanted that. Meghan never wanted that. Meghan's I guess desires for things to be very simple. Simple, elegant, and to the point. Also, when they were saying that Meghan had that fit about the tiara, if you consider the tiara that Meghan wore, which was what? Very simple, clean lines, very streamlined. As a matter of fact, I would say it was ideally suited for Meghan's aesthetic. The only frilly thing about her wedding dress was the veil. Now, of course, over time, we have all speculated about this, and a lot of people feel as though the Spencer tiara was really supposed to be the tiara because it so much identifies with the veil, with that little scallop shape, if that's what you call it, those little repeated rounded shapes going up and down the veil. It looks very much like the Spencer tiara. And from what we've learned is that it was suggested that Meghan should wear one of the Windsor tiaras. And so once that happened, the other reason why I don't believe the tiara thing is if you are offered to wear tiaras, Meghan did not go to the vault. They brought a selection of tiaras to Meghan to make her decision, to choose. So if there was something that they did not want her to wear, why would they show it to her and then say, but you can't wear that? I never believed that one either. I never believed that. It has even been suggested that by one of the squatties that the whole purpose of the public wedding was to make sure that they could start their anti-Meghan pushy bridezilla type of things. All of those little stories could have a purpose by having it so much more of a public event than something private. And I'm inclined to believe that. I'm inclined to believe that having a private wedding would have. Oh, and let me remind you something else about the wedding. None of the tabloid media was allowed. Harry put a stop to that. They blame Meghan for it, but Harry put a stop to that. Most of the, shall we say, bad blood when it comes to access from the tabloid media is not what Meghan has done or said. It was Harry. You know, the Harry who doesn't speak up for himself, so they would have you believe. No, Harry put his foot down. Harry is very capable of putting his foot down when he feels something is not right. And he did not want the people that, you know, were around during the time of his mother. They certainly were not welcome to come to that wedding. And there's been many times when they blame Meghan about the press when it was actually Harry who knows them better than Meghan ever will, who says, nope, we're not. Nope, you're not. It's not possible. That's not going to happen. That is Harry's words or Harry's deed. But they blame Meghan for it. And they know this. They know this. But they go after Meghan because their hope is that that will be the thing that will be so hurtful to Harry that he will soften his disposition toward them. That's not going to happen. The reason why I'm certain that they have underestimated um, Meghan's strength is that Harry is pursuing his litigation against the tabloids. I would like to believe, as an outside observer, I would like to believe that this is a decision to keep up the heat going on those tabloids. I believe that is a decision made by both husband and wife. That is what I believe. Um, because we all know Meghan stands up for what's right. They like to call her a narcissist and such. Meghan wants the best for everyone around her. Everyone around her. And if it's important to Harry, it's important to her, and vice versa. So that part of their relationship is very strong. And I think the tabloids underestimate that. They try to admonish them and throw all of these labels and names upon them, none of which fits. They're very dynamic people, and they both have a strong sense of fair play. And that's just the way it is. I hope so. Oh wait, that's what I was looking for. I hope so, Brownie. Yeah, they thought that, and that's what's so weird, CK, is that they thought Megan was going to collapse under the pressure of that institution. They were hoping that she would collapse under the pressure of the institution. Um, and when they realized that Megan does not feel a strong sense of deference toward them and their titles, then they got really disappointed. And that just made them even more angry. That just made them even more angry. See, they meet too many Americans that are in such awe of those institutions that they think every American cannot wait to, um, you know, um, I guess, bow and curtsy to them. But that's not the case. Judy Matasit, thank you for the super sticker and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And don't forget, you all, memberships to Royal Sussex is still a bargain at just $4.99 a month. You can actually support Royal Sussex on a monthly basis for the price of a cup of coffee, just for the price of a cup of coffee, $4.99. And if you can find coffee cheaper than that, let us know and we will share that. We will share that. Okay. All right. But thank you so much for that. Ah, Willie Leaks. Willie Leaks. Wherefore art thou, Willie Leaks? Well, Willie is conspiring behind his father's back. That's wherefore art thou. King Charles has to accept limitations as Palace prepares for William to be monarch. You know what? That's exactly what happened to Queen Elizabeth, right? Queen Elizabeth, I believe, was, I don't want to use that term, that EA term, elder something. I don't want to use that term because I don't want to get in trouble. But I do believe that that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. At a certain point, Charles had managed to strip away all of the Queen's most important valued long-term aides and replaced them with people that were Team Charlie. And there were several things that the Queen desired. She had put, to pen and paper through her aide or, through her courtier, do this, do that. And Charles would not hear of it. Charles was a regent, but not in name, but in deed. Through his work, he was working as a regent. Now, in some respects, I would say that the Queen probably wanted him to take over certain responsibilities because she had been on the throne for 50, 60, and then 70 years. That makes sense. I would not, think that that's a bad thing, except Charles was undermining her and not in a good way. And in particular, when it came to Prince Harry. We all know that the idea to remove security and to take away the funds that were promised for that trial period of 1 year, that was cruel, mean-spirited, vindictive Charles III, or at the time, Prince Charles, the man who had been the heir for 70 years. And that was Charles's doing. So, I believe there's a lot of things that people blame the Queen for, that really she had no control over. There's a lot of people that just do not listen to a 90-year-old. She was treated as, for lack of a better word, an invalid, like some kind of menagerie. And repeatedly, people weaponized the Queen's age. They used her age as a means to push for power, doing things in the name of the Queen. They would do things in the Queen's name, but they just wouldn't do what the Queen wanted them to do unless it was to their advantage. That is what I believe. And a lot of you all disagreed with me at the time because you all said I was trying to give her a free pass. I could only look at the age. I can only look at Charles' ever-growing power and come up with the conclusion that those things happen because of Charles. Now, if the Queen had it in for Harry and Meghan, they will not accept that. They're in denial because, as far as they're concerned, the Queen has been on their side the entire time. I tend to believe that people mellow with age. They're not the same person at 90 that they were at 40. I don't think that's possible. They see things differently, they do things differently. Yeah, it's hard to believe that anybody could be as malicious as Charles has been, especially when point by point, all of the grievances they have with Harry for what he said and what he has done since he left the UK, there is a precedent that has already been set by other members of the family, including Charles. Believe your parents were not the best parents in the world? Have some grievances about the way you were treated as a child? You need look no further than Charles III. Everything that Harry has said about his, upbringing and 10 times more, but you can find a parallel in the book that was written for Charles about Charles. He literally sat down with the author and dictated the book. All of the royal books are dictated. If it comes from Angela Levin, Robert Jobson, and a list of other people, those books were written with their approval. And if it was something they really didn't like, it does not go in the book. That is common knowledge. That's why those books are so boring. That is why those books are so boring, because the content has been dictated by some of the most untalented um, people in the world, the Windsors. They don't have abstract thinking. Everything is pretty regimented, except for Harry. Harry is the only three-dimensional thinker in that family that I could think of, when it comes to a blood-born Windsor. He's the only one I could think of. Uh, now, you know how to make me smile, don't you? You know how to make me smile. Nothing makes me smile more than thinking about that very covert trip to meet the Queen. Everybody thought Lizzie was senile, and they managed to get, or she managed to get them out of the country or out of at least greater London. Or, as a matter of fact, didn't she send Charles and Godzilla up to what was it, Edinburgh? Edinburgh? Didn't she send them up north? Anyway, they all thought the Queen was senile. Little did they know that Lizzie still had a few tricks up her sleeve, and Lizzie, Queen Elizabeth, still had a few loyal staff members that could help her. Now, my favorite part, of course, was her means of communication. I'm pretty sure that they thought that Queen Elizabeth II was hoping to keep this as a bit of a antique or conversation piece. Listen, QE2 got out that old burner phone, that old Motorola StarTAC phone. The one that where the battery only lasts a short time when you charge it, right? She went and got that old Motorola phone and started making some phone calls, moving some pieces around. And next thing you know, here come the Sussexes. Oh, they were angry about that. They were so upset. They were so upset. They were so mad that they made the Queen go to Sandringham. And seriously, the Queen did not want to die in Scotland. She thought it would be a lot of trouble for everyone, and she wanted to be in Windsor. That's where Philip died. They would not allow her to go home. They made her stay. The Queen never stayed in Scotland that late into the season. The end of summer, and she's back in London. They made her stay there because they wanted her out of the way. They wanted her out the way. So never mind, she has no control over her name. She had no control over anything. Yeah, and let us not forget about the fact that Meghan shared the same birthday as her mother. The Queen mother and Rachel Meghan Markle share the same birthday. And as Harry said, those corgis have been barking at him his whole life. And yet when Meghan walks in, the corgis collapse to her feet. They're literally laying their little heads on her feet. They want to be near Meghan. Why is that? And did we not see the Queen babysitting the Sussex's dog, Meghan's dog? She was literally babysitting Meghan's dog. Come on, Meghan, let's go ride the train together. She attempted to give her stamp of approval. And that put a lot of people's noses out of joint. Meghan, come and stay for Christmas. Yes, you're not married. This is a first, but come and stay for Christmas. Bring your mama if you want to. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So the Queen had to find that old Motorola burner phone to make it happen. And after that, they went into a panic to make sure that nothing like that ever happened again. Hey, Rohini, remember Queenie even shared the blanket in the car? Yes. Yes. So I don't want to say I told you so. And I know a lot of you all still don't believe it. You all believe that the Queen was in it just as deep as the rest of them. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I believe the Queen had a certain fondness for Meghan, and that made a lot of people very, very angry. Because compared to Duchess Doolittle, Meghan had received very preferential treatment from the Queen, directly from the Queen, should I say, in comparison to Kate, who the Queen had no use for. The Queen had no use for Kate. They rarely spent time together. Rarely spent time together. And it's not to say that the Queen made a lot of time for anyone, but you would think that knowing that Kate is a queen in waiting, that there would have been more engagement. Instead, Sophie, you couldn't hardly get rid of Sophie. Sophie was all over the Queen like a cheap suit. So that's 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 what I believe. But recollections may vary. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I believe that put a lot of noses out of joint. Um, I believe as well that even for the queen, even if she were younger, she would be very limited to how much support that she could give because her heirs, Charles and William, they are going to take the throne. They're going to take the throne. They have no other path in life but to sit on that throne. And so I do believe that certain amounts of deference, even from the queen, is necessary for them because of their position. Because of their position. So, as Harry said, the queen just stayed quiet and eventually she just left. The queen emotionally had checked out. Listening to Harry's words, where her phone calls are being monitored, listening to his words, it just makes me believe that she did not have a lot to say. She had no autonomy. Um, Everything had shifted over to Charles. And at some point, is going to be history repeating. So, um, really, Charles is going to, depending on how he leaves this world, he's going to find himself in a very similar position where William is giving orders on his behalf, and he will be powerless in all likelihood. Being a sovereign puts you in the driver's seat. Being a weak, feeble, and for lack of a better word, dying sovereign, um, you ain't got much left. You ain't got much steam left, and nobody's going to pay attention to you. Charles had conspired to get rid of the people that were closest to the queen. And at age 90, pretty much all of the people you started with are gone and had been gone for years, died off, and probably left service much earlier than that. Now, if you all feel like the queen had that coming or whatever, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't know. I leave it to God to know what's in people's hearts. TCC Son says, didn't the Queen ask Harry and Meghan to do a walkabout and other events before marriage? Kitty didn't do that. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Meghan went to the Westminster Abbey when she wore that white beret. Yeah, that was before marriage. And there was all of those people. I remember when she walked through the Westminster Abbey, and people were just like, it was just the excitement that people had when she walked through. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And that is why I'm here today, is because I was looking forward, especially considering who was in the White House at the time. I needed Harry and Meghan. I needed them desperately. I needed something other than the White House to think about at the time. And I felt like I was robbed. I felt like they took something away from me. I was looking forward to watching them move about the world and do great things, much like they're doing right now. I was looking forward to that. But when that hate campaign started, I felt like I was like gutted when that happened, when that I would look at the things that they were writing, and I'm like, okay, well, after the honeymoon is over with, they'll ease off and things will get better. But it never did. It never did. And then at some point, I found Tina and Michelle and found this community, and I realized that it was so much worse than what I thought it was. But thank you very much, TCC Son, for the super chat. Yeah, I quickly realized that it was so much worse than what I thought it was. And the only way that I could feel better is to do exactly what I do. So for those of you that say, "Oh, how come we're not talking about Harry and Meghan?" If I did not mock and disparage and read those people to filth, I would be in a much worse position right now. But to me, being able to laugh about some of the things that we certainly cannot control, and to make fun of those people, not out of hate. I mean, I don't hate anybody in that family, but it's just my way of dealing with things. Yeah, I do have a bit of a wit about myself, and yeah, I just feel better being able to laugh about it than to walk around feeling um otherwise. So it's therapeutic for me. And if anybody else gets anything out of it, so much the better. But I need it. I need it because the rest of that family is
bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
That's right. They are bitter, bitter, bitter. Thank you, Lauren Brown. Yeah, from time to time, I'd see in the comments where someone says certain things, and I'm just like, they must be new to Royal Sussex, or they just don't get irony, they don't get sarcasm, or something. But, and even on those days when the Sussexes are out and about, there are people that expect their daily dose of socking it to the rest of that family, and I am more than capable and certainly willing to oblige them. um and so yeah, and I enjoy doing it. I do really enjoy doing it. So um yeah, so that is going to be a part of the show. As long as there's a Royal Sussex, that is part of it. Even on the best of days, even on the worst of days. Yeah, I was looking forward to all of that stuff. I love to see people in those spaces that were not designed for them. I love to see people excel in spaces that were not meant for them. And it's not an issue of, oh, I can't wait to see this black person in white spaces do white stuff and white things better than the white people. That's not the point. That's not the point. If it's a white person that's in a black space that has embraced the culture, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, that's appropriation." If you're true to the art, if you're true to the art, like say Tina Marie earned her position as a soul singer, as an R&B singer. And I got such a kick out of seeing her in such an unlikely space. I love stuff like that. And like I said, I was very proud of my Eastern European mayor, my Jewish governor, my Jewish mayor, that they we at one time there was a mayor from the Czech Republic, Anton Cermak. And if you've ever been to Chicago, you recognize the name Cermak Road, Anton Cermak. And when he ran for mayor back in the 30s, oh, it was such a fuss about it. And they would make fun of his name and everything. And Anton Cermak said, maybe I didn't come over on the Mayflower, but I got here as soon as I could. And after he said that, people fell in love with him and he became the mayor of the city of Chicago. He turned lemons into lemonade. And I just love stories like that where someone can overcome circumstances and be the, what do you call it, the underdog or something like that. I really get a kick out of that. And most people do root for the underdog. Most people will. Yeah. Oh, Rachel Dolezal. Yeah, I know it's a lot of people that do not like her, but I'm just like, you know what? As long as you're not making a mockery of things, as long as you're not trying to, I mean, I know she was living alive, but I'm certainly not angry with her. I it's always better to be truthful, but um yeah, those kind of things. I'm always interested to see how people fit into spaces that are not necessarily meant for them. I watched quite a few documentaries about Black people in Nazi Germany. Black people in Nazi Germany, and they survived the war. How is that even possible? I see something like that. I'm like, yes, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this one. Oh, yeah, he was definitely being sarcastic. Is it Balaji Anthony? But yeah, he was definitely being sarcastic. Okay, let's get back on track because I was talking about something else. So Charles had to accept limitations as Palace prepares. I'm sorry, King Charles has to accept limitations as Palace prepares for William to be king, be monarch rather. I don't know exactly what those limitations are right now, but I didn't actually watch that video, and maybe I will go back and look at it. But the point of it is they are making room for William. And I think William is actively undermining his father. I don't think they're talking right now. Even after Charles was said to have cancer, it seemed like they had not, they say that no, let me take that back. I can only think of one time when they said that the two of them met. And trust me, if they have met, if they were meeting with each other, William would make a big fuss about it. But I don't think they were. I think William is doing the best that he can to prove that he could make it without any input from Buckingham Palace. And therein lies the conflict because he is usurping his father. He is literally casting a shadow on his father's reign. I'm not even sure that he was supposed to go to Paris. And that meeting with Donald Trump, I'm not even sure that was supposed to happen. The biggest thing that people miss so often is, how do we know? How do you know that that's what was said? That Professor Tim what's his face, I get so frustrated with him because in some respects, he's a very intelligent person. And in other respects, He gives me the impression that he believes everything he reads. If something is very unlikely, you should ask the question, why would the Sussexes allow an invitation for Christmas to be leaked? Nothing else comes out of Montecito, but that was leaked. That was not a leak. That was a scenario. That was something that someone in the tabloid media just thought about and thought, well, that could have happened. Yeah. So in that case, it did. If it could have happened, then it did. There are no leaks in Montecito. And certainly, Eugenie did not leak it. She hasn't leaked anything else. Think about how many times Eugenie has come and gone from the Sussexes, and we didn't know if she was even around until there was a photograph at a game or whatever the case may be. Very limited information. And if anybody has practiced, certainly she does. I mean, she's a royal princess. She knows how to keep stuff under her hat. She didn't leak about Harry dating Meghan. She didn't want to get involved with that stuff. So I don't believe the leak came from her. Well, I would love to believe that William is doing things to Charles, undermining him and disrespecting him because of his mother. But I wonder sometimes how much he even thinks about his mother, how much he considers his mother. It seems to me like he has taken the side of the institution. I mean, think about it. He has become very close to Camilla. He has become extremely close to Camilla, the woman who tormented his mother. I believe that he has been brainwashed, which is easy. If someone's brain is the size of a walnut, then they're easy to brainwash. So, having suffered a hairline fracture or just stupid, whatever the case may be, I don't think that he thinks about his mother in the same way that Harry does. I don't want to say that he doesn't care, but I believe that he has been indoctrinated with this idea that his mother was the problem. I believe that he believes that he assumes that his mother was the problem. Yeah, and Helen makes a good point. Helen makes a good point. Um, no matter what we think about that institution, the day-to-day Brits do not think about them. They're not on the radar. They're not on the radar like that. People come and go in their lives and don't even know that is a troop in the color. Sadly, I think I've seen more towns in Britain than most British people ever will. Hopscotching around the country with a rail pass gave me a chance to see things that a lot of them may never see. I was speaking to a couple at the Castle Howard, and I asked them if they had ever seen the what is that Woodhouse something house, the back to back um, like country houses. One side of the house is one style, the other side is this Palladian style. And I'm sitting up there telling them about something they didn't even know exist. I got my phone out. I said, "Yeah, here you go." And this was a couple that went around the UK from one country house to the other. I couldn't believe they had never heard of it. So if people don't know so much about what's there, trust me, they ain't thinking about that family. Yeah, truly, they're not thinking about them like that. They're very much like the wallpaper to most people. The scenario that I like to uh, use from time to time, not scenario, but the metaphor is a rose wallpaper where there are still some roses waiting to bloom, little buds. And every time you look at it, you think, wow, are those ever going to open? But how many times do you look at it? After a while, you forget there was even rose wallpaper, let alone some of those flowers have never bloomed. I mean, not that they would. I mean, it is wallpaper, but you get my point. You just don't pay attention to it. We only pay attention to the presidency because every 4 years, there's like a 2 year countdown to election day. The presidential election season is 2 years. 2 years of nonstop. And as you get closer to election day, the whole world is holding their breath. That doesn't happen for the monarchy. That does not happen for the monarchy. So I think that is very important, Helen, and thank you for pointing that out, to remember that most people in Britain are not thinking about them as much as we do. Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that was somehow set up by the Heritage Foundation, but I don't think that meeting was supposed to happen. Trump was there to have a meeting with the British ambassador. Trump was there for a meeting with the British ambassador. There is no way that Donald Trump made arrangements to spend time with William when there were all those other world leaders there. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. Yep, I do not believe it. I don't even suspect that William sat through the entire meeting. I would be shocked if William actually sat through the entire meeting. Oh, I get you, Mary H. I get you. Yeah, he's a monarchist, and I don't have a problem with him being a monarchist. I don't have anything against anybody for their love of that institution. I do not. That is part of your culture. That is something that you like and you're into it, fine. Where I have a problem is when it means that they're um, going after the Sussexes or misrepresenting them, then I have a problem. That becomes a problem. Clickbait. Clickbait. Plain and simple clickbait. Uh, yeah, not interested. Yeah, Trump was just amusing him. Trump was just appealing to his vanity and he was ready to move on. When Trump, did you notice that when Trump walked through the door, that he looked around for someone else? If you don't believe me, take a look at that video again. When he first walked in, he looked past William as though he was looking for someone else. He was not expecting William to greet him at that door. You could see he was surprised. That's why I said I don't believe it. Prince William will snub royal family Christmas if his stepbrother Tom is there. Willie, or is the fact that William is not planning to be there in the first place the reason why Tom is going? Is that the reason why? Because William wasn't planning to be there in the first place? They've already said they were going to do their own thing for Christmas. They've said that, 2 weeks ago? So I don't know. I have not seen William and I have not seen William Parker Bowles with Tom Parker Bowles. I don't think I've seen the two of them in the same space in quite some time. I have not. And I told you, I have my suspicions that if there is some kind of information that is embarrassing to William, one of the best possible sources I'm going to allege is Tom Parker Bowles. Because Tom was already an adult hanging around with teenage William. And what a conflict of interest would that be, that your mother's rival son is providing you with things that you might enjoy for your secret club at what's the name of it? High Grove? Your High Grove Club or whatever. I mean, just think about some of the stuff that Tom Parker Bowles has gotten in trouble for in the past. If it wasn't for Charles, a lot of those things that he has been accused of would have gone a lot further. They leaned heavily on their connection to the future king. And when I say they, I mean his mother and himself. Because the dutiful dad that they make Tom Parker Bowles out to be is not the person that he was. I don't know who he is today, but he wasn't that person in the past. He was more like Uncle Gary Goldsmith. Prince William, Kate Middleton making preparations for King Charles' death. Why is that funny to me? But yeah, they're making preparations for King Charles' death, and they are. They are. Trust me, they are. Prince William and Kate Middleton are finally in. What is that? To support. I mean, to start. Finally in line to. Oh, that got cut off, I think. Interesting. Interesting. That's a little collage that was made by one of the squatties. So right here, prominent in this image is William and Kitty. They're prominent. This has been going on for a long time. And there you have Charles and the Dragon Lady pushed to the background. They have been doing this song and dance for about 10 years now. About 10 years. I don't know why some of their favorite publications are playing along with this. And I bring this out every time, but let's look at it again. King and Queen, the new King and Queen, meet the new Queen, future Queen, take the throne. Even People magazine, preparing for the throne. They've been doing this for a while. And it was interesting while Queen Elizabeth was alive. But at this point, it is really in bad taste. Not that I'm, sticking up for Chuck. But I'm just pointing out that it takes a lot of nerves to practically bury your father before he's taken his last breath. And that's exactly what they've been doing. A lot of people have blamed Carol Middleton for this And I said some time ago that if I was Carol Middleton, I would much rather go to a coronation for my daughter while I was still young enough to enjoy it. And now it's getting to the point that, well, Carol Middleton is getting up in years. Will she even survive long enough to see the coronation? That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen because I tell you, Carol Middleton, she seems to have aged significantly herself. And I'm not talking about since Kitty's unfortunate whatever it was, but she's been a different person for some time. She doesn't seem to have that same kick that she used to. And do remember that while Kate was missing, the entire Middleton family seemed to have disappeared. They didn't come back until Royal Ascot. Just some pictures of Pippa on the beach. No clear indication when those photos were taken. And then the dog food broker, the one who trades dog food for favorable stories, the one who's tried to trade dog food for an appeal for royal titles. Speaking of royals, Connie Bomber. Hey, Connie Bomber. Thank you so much for being here. Now, this one, of course, highly unlikely. Dying Charles tells William, "You won't be king." Prince's double life of of rage issues and boozing. Now, you know they are getting close to the root of it. Rage issues and boozing exposed as monarch declares his son unfit to rule. Now, listen, the part "you won't be king," I kind of feel like that's out of the question. But the other part there, I'm just like, who told y'all? How you know? Who told you? Isn't that what people were suspecting? But instead of double life, they really should make that triple life because there's always lurking in the background a pulled pork sandwich, a big, juicy, meaty pulled pork sandwich with extra pickles, just like he likes it. That's all. If it's two things we know that William likes, one thing, of course, is a good pulled pork sandwich. And the other thing that he's crazy about are beards. He loves having a beard around. He loves beards, pulled pork sandwiches and beards. If you know, you know. Royals in turmoil. Of course, they had to throw Harry in there just to make sure people read the article. Otherwise, it won't sell as fast. Sick King Charles can't control Prince Andrew and Prince William. He does not want to control Andrew. William, he cannot control. One, he doesn't want to control. The other is the one that he cannot control. It is inevitable. Whatever anybody says, William is going to be king. It would throw the monarchy into too much turmoil if somehow they try to prevent William from getting on the throne. The only way they could stop William from being king is if they expose the real William, and I don't think that that's going to happen. If they had to, if his opportunity to be king or his future as king hinged on some type of test of his, of his abilities, then I think that he would probably pass the test, But if it was any other position, it would exclude most people because the man got a problem and everybody knows it. Prince Andrew successfully defied the king in refusing to move out of Royal Lodge. Now Prince William set his plan for a monarchy with more empathy and impact. The fact that William is going around telling people what he's going to do different, you don't do that. You don't do that. I said that yesterday. Trump going to Paris before Inauguration Day is unheard of. Going to meet with world leaders, that is unheard of. Justin Trudeau invited to Mar-a-Lago. That's never happened. Yes, they've had their phone calls and some of their people meet and have these backdoor discussions. But going to meet other world leaders while there is still a president in the White House, unheard of. So when I look at William and I look at Charles, I'm just like, if two people ever had some characteristics that are as identical as theirs, I'd like to meet them because I don't think anybody else has, at least not in this kind of situation where you have both of these people destined to go to the highest level, undermining the person that's there currently. I don't think we've ever had anything like this in the United States. I know they've had their secret phone calls, but to go and openly speak to other world leaders? And William plotting and planning and speaking what he said when he says more empathy and impact, that means that Charles does not make impact and that he has no empathy. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have enough. He's saying he don't have it at all. Charles, part of his brand is empathy. I said his brand. I'm not saying that's who he is. And the same with impact. The Prince's Trust has been highly successful. And I won't let my feelings about Charles get in the way of that. The Prince's Trust has been highly successful. As a Prince of Wales, I don't think anybody has ever been more successful than Charles III. Ever. And William it's like he's trying to gaslight people into believing that he's just as effective as his father. If he had another 40 years to wait, it would still be lackluster. It would be very superficial. And everybody knows it. Oh, what did I miss here? What did I miss? So you all believe that William wants Harry there so that he could try to embarrass him in some kind of way. I wouldn't doubt it. You know, the big prize would be having Meghan there, so that every camera in the house, they would have a camera on the back of Meghan's chair. They would have a camera on the back of the chair in front of her. They would have cameras in candlesticks, floor tiles, hats. There would probably be 50 different angles of Meghan doing a curtsy to William. They would make sure that they had that recorded. A drone flying through the Westminster Abbey. They would have a drone flying through Westminster Abbey to make sure that they could catch Meghan doing a curtsy. They want that so bad. They want that so bad. They have Meghan publicly curtsy in front of those people. So far, we've only have seen her do that with the Queen and nobody else. But I promise you, they want that photo like the air that they breathe. But if I could quote In Vogue, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Woo, woo, woo. Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, if I have to quote In Vogue, they ain't ever gonna get it. So they can forget about that. When Meghan has made up her mind, she's made up her mind. Right? When Meghan made up her mind, she's made up her mind. Harry says, I won't bring my wife over here. And moreover, Meghan is not going to volunteer to go. Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. And of course, think about it like this. We all know that William has a very fragile ego. The idea that he would be outshined by the Sussexes on his coronation day, that would probably be more than he could take. That would be more than what he could take. All right. So there you go. The usurpers, the usurper twins. Trump says Prince William told him King Charles is fighting very hard after cancer diagnosis. That's the gift that keeps giving, isn't it? Did William go in there and tell Charles that his father is, knocking on death's door? I wonder. I mean, yes, uh, Trump is very gaffe prone, but I believe that William probably said some things to try to big himself up. I mean, think about it like this, right? Let me throw this scenario at you. You are the Prince of Wales and a lousy one at that. And you are seated that is, with the president elect and a former president at that. President 45 and 47. And as William, you have absolutely no accomplishments of note. William is pretty much lacking in most things: intelligence, ability, and of course, anything that says, I've accomplished something. He's lacking in all of that stuff. And so, to make himself seem more important, he probably wanted Trump to believe that he's really running the show back in London and back at Buckingham Palace, and that his father is clinging to life and really not doing anything. Now, we know that William got the smackdown. When Charles had announced his cancer, William's people had briefed the press saying that William is going to take on more of a role. And quickly, Charles, whatever he was being treated for, wasn't even altogether feeling that well. But Charles made sure that he got out there as soon as he could and went back to work. And since then, he has outworked, outpaced, and outsmarted his dim-witted son at every turn. He did not want anyone to assume that he was in some way incapacitated. And dare I say, William looks worse off than Charles. Yeah. Well, Trump well, he exaggerates a lot of things. So on the one hand, you have Trump who exaggerates his importance in most situations. So Trump would want people to believe that he knows something the rest of the world doesn't, or learns something the rest of the world doesn't. So he may have felt compelled to say that Charles was worse off than we thought, so that he could seem more important, like he got information that would not have gone to most world leaders. And on William's behalf, I think William would have probably have said too much so that he could remind Trump that I'm going to be a global statesman too, right? So they both have good reasons to say that Charles is in much worse shape. Either way, it was disrespectful, and the palace is not happy. They are not happy about that. They are not happy about that. As a matter of fact, let me play that little soundbite from those tabloid people. Let me play that little soundbite from those tabloid people. I knew when I first heard that was not going over well with Buckingham Palace. Oh, wait, that was from 3 days ago. Let me do this first. Okay, let me do this. Okay, there we are.
We know that Trump makes the odd faux pas and he does real talk better than anyone. So, it was kind of unnerving because you think, has he found out something that we don't know?
It could be because remember that Catherine has completed her treatment.
Yes.
Whereas the King's treatment is still going. So maybe William was kind of saying that. Then Donald Trump kind of interpreted that as he's still fighting, which he's still being treated. That's a fact.
I hope you're right, Richard. Well, now, Natasha, we'll stick with William for a minute. A couple of days.
Okay. I don't think that was the one I was looking for.
Controversy. Yeah, I don't say it's controversial, but they covered a lot in 25 minutes.
Nope, that's not it either. Well, maybe it was. Maybe I heard it different the first time. But I thought there was one where someone had quoted Trump and was saying that the palace would not have liked that. I thought it was that one, but maybe not. Or maybe that was an incomplete version of it.
Or him wearing an apron. Yeah. What he said about meeting with William. And I was a bit shaken by this quote. I don't know about you. It says, I asked him about his wife and he said she's doing well. And I asked him about his father, and his father is fighting very hard, and he loves his father and he loves his wife. So it was sad. That's a pretty down.
Oh, well. Or maybe that was it. I don't know. But I think between William and Trump, that they both kind of put their foot in it. I think they both put their foot in it. So was not welcomed by Buckingham Palace, I'm certain. Now, one of the things that I think that father and son may both have in common is those Folsom Mason shopping bags full of cash. I think that I think that both father and son have looked to people to the east. They look to the east or the Middle East. I believe they have looked in that direction and have found friends, like-minded people. So far, we have not seen William dress in tribal costume, But Charles has, sabers and the whole headdress and everything. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but Charles is in it to win it. Charles loves to get into costume. William, I think the only good thing that I would probably ever say about William is that William does not care for those outfits. He doesn't like the Order of the Garter. He does not care to wear, he doesn't even want to wear kilts. Anything that is a ceremonial outfit like that, he does not really get into that. I think Charles is a little bit too committed to it, but that's not William's thing. So if I had to say one good thing about him, I would say that is that because that can be kind of, I don't know, I think that notion kind of died off with the Queen. Well, not even the Queen, but I think that's going to die off with Charles. And it should. I think it should. Those outfits look ridiculous on them. And especially when Charles was dressed up like Lawrence of Arabia, that was just going too far. Charles doing his impersonation of Ali Baba is a real turnoff for me. Okay. And also, I keep thinking about Tina Brown. Prince William surrounds himself with sycophants and needs Prince Harry to bring him down to earth, claims Princess Diana's. I don't buy that, but she had met with Diana a couple of weeks before she died. So she says, I don't ever see anything to prove that. But Tina Brown, who has been writing about the royals for years, insists that William has surrounded himself with sycophants. That is true. Like I said, unless you're a pulled pork sandwich combination beard, he really has no use for you. And that is the truth. And those people that he has surrounded himself with has been around to, play a part of some really dumb decisions. The fact that the Sussexes had to leave is because of William and Kate, because of both of them. That's why they had to leave. It wasn't because of Queen Godzilla. It wasn't because of Charles. It was those other two. And that's because William had used his courtiers and used his senior role in that household to wreak havoc. And instead of telling him, no, please don't do that, or that's not a good idea, the staff at Buckingham Palace, William's direct staff, cheered him on. Harry and Meghan didn't hire anyone at Buckingham Palace. Those people were provided for them. They didn't have their own staff. William has been able to hire and fire at whim. Harry never had that luxury. Harry got whoever he got, and he just had to work with those people. There's a big difference. And those people demonstrated deference toward William. So that means the Sussexes had no secrets. And poor Meghan, I always feel bad when I think about this, but Meghan takes Christian Jones to lunch, hoping to make a connection with him away from Kensington Palace, away from the influence coming from the other household. And perhaps she didn't realize that he was part of the bearded set. I don't know. But whatever it was, I do not believe that Christian Jones was ever in her corner. Because someone leaked the fact that they went to lunch. And the Sun ran those photos. And remember, the British tabloids, the Sun, the Daily Mail, they do not share paparazzi photos of the royals, of the senior royals. They made an exception for Meghan and Christian Jones' lunch. Not only was it an exception, it was deliberate because they were trying to create this thing about Meghan running off with this handsome young courtier, and Harry, you better look over your shoulders. That's what the article said, that he was setting pulses racing among royal fans. And all of this while Meghan is heavily pregnant. They wanted to try to upset her with this idea that she's being unfaithful with Christian Jones. And they all know that Christian Jones was as gay as a beach blanket bingo movie, as gay as a picnic basket. They all knew that. As gay as a goose. And yet, they had this whole scenario created where Harry should be worried that his heavily pregnant wife might run off with Christian Jones. Gay as a Billy Porter musical. And Harry should be nervous. That was deliberate. If you ask me, they were doing everything that they could to make sure that the newest person in line to the throne would never be born. Who does that? The Murdoch media. They know Christian was married to a dude. Did not matter. They carried on that story anyway. They omitted the part about him being married to another man. Well, now Christian Jones, no, I'm sorry, the little man said that he didn't know Christian Jones, even though Christian Jones was invited to the sad little man's 40th birthday party, right? And even though we later found out that allegedly Christian Jones' husband, I believe, worked with the sad little man or went to school or was close to him in some kind of way. We all know that the sad little man went to school with Jason Knopf. All of those people, Jason, Christian's husband, the sad little man, they all know each other. All of them. Byline Investigates shared that photo from the party. And what's really worse, is that before the sad little man wrote about Rose Hanbury, he really was not interested in the Sussexes. But I believe that there was some alleged deal made with the Sun for him to abandon his celebrity gossip and to lean heavy on Harry and Meghan. Well, they were talking to the right person, because that's exactly what he did. He wasn't so, as a matter of fact, he rather liked Harry. He had feelings for Harry to some degree. But all of that changed. The Sun told him to change his storyline and to go with the royals, in particular, Harry and Meghan. But before, he wasn't that interested in them. I'm trying to see if I could find that picture at the party. I'm trying to find that picture at the party. Aha! There it is right there. There you go. That's Christian on the left, Christian's husband, three other people they chose not to identify. And that's Dan Wooten at his 40th birthday party. Now remember, he don't know them. Now, was Christian Jones the one who leaked the story about the Sussexes negotiating their departure from the institution? I believe Harry seems to see it that way. As a matter of fact, Harry complained about it. And when he wouldn't drop it, they dropped him. They say, drop your complaint or you're going to pay the price. And Harry said, not if hell freezes over. Not if my Todger freezes over. Now, I don't know any of this directly. I only know what Harry said, and likewise, I'm going to have to throw a big alleged, but that is how allegedly this played out. But remember, if anybody asks you, Dan Wooten does not know Christian Jones. And I actually have a picture of Christian Jones' husband. I have a picture of the two of them together. But since they blocked it out, I'm not going to share it. But I got a picture. And if you go back and look, on some of the past articles and stuff, it's not hard to find. Okay. Oh yeah, Sussex team warrior William. William made headlines when he said that, and maybe that's why they made that cartoon on HBO. I was thinking maybe that's why they made that cartoon on HBO, based on that. Yeah, Helen, that's right. He was an entertainment correspondent. He wasn't focused on some of the stuff, and this is what happens a lot with people that have been on the left. When they start getting in trouble, they go hard right. Like Russell Brand, he has gone to the right. When he got accused of certain things, then he became this right-wing firebrand. Dan Wooten, when he got accused, he became this right-wing firebrand. Have you noticed that? That anybody who was mostly identified with the left wing, they go to the deep right as soon as they get in trouble. Sorry about that. I'm taking a sip I'm drinking some of that Trader Joe's triple ginger ale. Oh, that'll put some hair on your chest. The triple ginger ale. Love that. Very spicy. Good to settle your stomach, though. Okay. All right, you guys, let's step it up because it is getting late. It is a work night for some people. And yes, I do care. I really do. Sorry. So Prince William reveals rare details about royal family private Christmas party. It will be noisy. I am ready for Christmas. No way am I ready, the Prince of Wales admitted. So this article is recent, and this was in People magazine. So I'm going to just assume that this was meant to read exactly the way it does. I don't think William is going to the King Charles Christmas. I don't think that he's planning to go. They may do that walk to church, but even that may be out of the question because, William doesn't mind not showing up. So it's going to be an interesting Christmas. Who's there and who is not there? I believe the fact that they announced that Tom Parker Bowles is going to the Sandringham Christmas means that he plans to walk with the family on Christmas Day. Now, that'll be interesting. Remember, that is something only Meghan was able to do before she married into the family. And now Tom Parker Bowles, who is not a senior royal, who is not supposedly related to Charles other than stepson, they're making too big of a deal about the fact that he's planning to be there. The two things they keep saying is that he's going to have his first Christmas at Sandringham and how sick his mother is, how many problems that she's had in the past 2 years. That means that he's going to have a very big role at Christmas. Unprecedented big role. Good night, Claudia Sims. Thank you so much. Okay. Furious King Charles can't divorce or sack Prince Andrew due to a bond of blood, rather. Royal insiders fear Prince Andrew links to alleged Chinese spy could overshadow the good work of King Charles and Prince William. Well, I'll say the good work of one of them. But Monarch has come to two realizations, a source claims. Candace Holmes says Charles can't divorce or sack Prince Andrew. What a joke. The monarchy is a symbol of entitlement and privilege where accountability is a myth. The bond of blood is just an excuse to protect their own interests, not the people's. Hear, hear. To protect their own interests, not the people's. Do the right thing. Now, this just came out. This just came out before I came on. King's Conundrum. Amid fears, stubborn Prince Andrew will still attend family Christmas lunch and will parade in front of crowds at Sandringham despite Chinese spy scandal. Royal insiders hope Duke will do the right thing and uninvite himself. What the hell is that about? What is that about? They're hoping that he will uninvite himself? Just tell him don't go. There's got to be something that, you know what I'm saying? If you really want him to stay home, cut him a check. Give him some money. If you give him some money, he won't go. Call him that morning and say that there's 10,000 pounds between the floorboards in the dining room or something like that, and you won't see him till next Christmas. That's right. A bag of money will do it. Just leave him some money. He won't show up. I don't get this. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. if you don't want them to go, I mean, you were able to evict the Sussexes, and they had a lease. You terminated the Sussexes' lease, and you can't get this tub of lard out of his house, this vicious bowl of Jell-O. I got some good news for you guys. There is a new channel on YouTube. Graham Smith has his own podcast. That's right. He has his own podcast on YouTube. And this is the first episode, Beyond the Royal Headlines, episode 1. It's an hour long, and he is dragging those people. So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because I just found it. But that's going to be something that I'm going to keep up with for certain, because I like to. Graham Smith is kind of petty, and I like to hear what he has to say. All right. Moving right along. Oh, yeah. They keep telling on Will and Kate, you'd think he'd be happy, overjoyed, even with his loving wife of 13 years, mother of 3 children, survived surgery and precancerous cells. But no, it's an actress who makes him feel like a playful schoolboy. Now, what they're referring to here is that William is like a playful schoolboy around Hannah Waddingham, body language expert reveals. And you know, that is a interesting thing, that he is as giddy as a schoolboy, or extra girly, like he just had a hormone shot, just because he's hanging around her. What is it about other women that makes him spontaneous and playful when with his own wife, whether they're riding in a state Bentley, riding in one of those carriages, they don't even look at each other. Kate on the verge of tears, William looking like something stink. What is that about? What is that about? Why don't you have those funny, humorous exchanges with your wife? It seems like he treats people better at a food shelter or food pantry when he's doing his, poverty tourism than he does with his wife. Why don't the body language experts talk about that? They are telling on him. The fact that they're making a big deal out of this Waddingham woman, and they say very little about he and Kate. They always try to pass off his pushing her along as some type of affection or, back rub or something, when the truth is he's just trying to hurry up and keep her moving so he can get back to where he really wants to be. Pulled pork sandwich. Now, our town is dumping ground for new builds. Locals blast plan for 416 house estate on fields pushed through by labor that will see neighbors stare down at them. You know what? If anybody is staring at them, it ain't going to be because if anybody is staring at them, it is not going to be because they're in new housing. I could think of so many other reasons to stare, but it ain't going to be because they got a new house. You know what I'm saying? If people are staring at them and they got nothing to do with a new house, I can promise you that. Maybe it's the mom jeans. Maybe it was a 2-for-1 wig sale or something, but it won't be because they're in new housing. So I tell you what, if I was them, I would call and complain about this article. Not the wording, but I would have a complaint. I think they should have had them sit on a stool. Don't you? I think they should have had them sit on a stool. Or maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe the light is up too high. I don't know. Sometimes overhead lighting is not our friends. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain age, I say avoid overhead lighting. Now, why would anybody stare at them? I have no idea. They're perfectly lovely. Absolutely lovely. Anyway, and you can tell they're very close. I mean, you couldn't slip a piece of paper between them. That's how close they are. Close neighbors. Too close. Okay. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, tonight I wanted to take time to celebrate women age 43. That's it. No shade. I'm just celebrating celebrities and famous women age 43. That's it. I am not being petty. I'm just celebrating age 43. No, really, just 43. Some of my presentation is deliberately ambiguous, thus allowing the listener to glean from it whatever he or she may. I'm being deliberately ambiguous tonight. Just tonight. St. Luigi. St. Luigi. Yes, St. Luigi. You guys, I did not know there was a St. Luigi, but apparently there is a St. Luigi. I found this on the internet. There is a saint. Now, I'm not the most Catholic person, but there is a St. Luigi. CL, that is not the point of it. I'm celebrating women age 43. That's it. I'm not trying to be shady. I just think 43 is just an amazing age, and I'm celebrating women age 43. That's it. That's all I'm doing is celebrating women age 43. Yeah, maybe something like that. And check it out. Now they have St. Luigi candles. Yeah, you could actually order a St. Luigi candle. See there? St. Luigi, the patron saint of healthcare as a human right. You can actually order the San Luigi candle. Now, I wouldn't mind having one of those. I would not mind having one of those. A San Luigi candle. Yep. How cute is that? A San Luigi candle. See right here, someone just got their candle in the mail today. Luigi's first miracle. Isn't that nice? That is beautiful. And of course, it's okay. They called me guilty too, Luigi. You see there? There's something so biblical about his story. It's okay. They called me guilty too. And there are some more of those Luigi candles there on the right side. That is beautiful. And of course, people are getting Luigi tattoos. There's a very famous Luigi Maggioni lookalike. Burger King, they may or may not want you to know that they don't snitch. Yeah, we don't snitch. Have it your way. You can have it your way. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders won't upset us. All we want you to know is that we don't snitch. Because everybody knows snitches get stitches. And here on the right, Person of the Year. There were some people who felt that Luigi was robbed, that he wasn't made Person of the Year. So they created their own Time magazine, Luigi Person of the Year. And Nicholas Maggioni built a dynasty out of nothing to make life easier for his descendants. His grandson, Luigi, chose infamy instead. They're saying at the Daily Beast that Luigi Maggioni, destroyed his grandpapa's rags to riches legacy. Well, I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment. Oh, I'm sorry. I had muted myself to take a sip of my ginger ale. How many chins in that picture? Why, what picture is that, Heather Stroud? I'm not sure which picture you're referring to. This one? This one? This one? Or this one? Or this one? Was it this one or this one? I'm not sure which photo you're referring to. I think you meant this one. Anyway, I'm teasing you, of course. I'm just teasing you. I know which picture you meant. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight. We've been on here 2.5 hours, so let's say goodnight. Remember, it is Christmas coming up, 10 days to Christmas, and I'm looking forward to it as usual. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Royal Sussex. Now, listen, for the rest of the week, I promise you, I'm going to try not to come on so late. I have been binge watching certain things on Netflix lately. I watched The Umbrella Academy last night, all 6 episodes. It is a sci-fi thing. And if you don't well, it helps if you know a little bit about the comic books, which someone actually educated me on the comic books. But if you're into quirky sci-fi thrillers, it definitely has all of that. Plus, there's another backstory to it. So one of the lead at the band My Chemical Romance actually wrote, but he wanted to be a comic book writer. He is a comic book writer. But unfortunately for him, the day that he was going to New York from New Jersey, he was going to New York to speak to someone in the publishing industry about the comic book Umbrella Academy. It was on the 11th of September, 2001. So he never did have that meeting with them about his comic book. And as a response to what happened on 9/11, he and his brother and a couple of other people from the community formed a band, and they called it My Chemical Romance. And that is a name that was inspired by some of the anti-anxiety medication that he was taking, My Chemical Romance. And that was to combat his hunger for other medication that he was taking, if you know what I mean. So that's the little backstory that I learned about the Umbrella Academy. So I decided to follow it from that point on. So I've seen all 4 seasons now. Yes, I did watch Polo. I absolutely watched Polo. I did a review the very same day. Yes, I did. I do have a Polo review if you want to watch it. But yeah, I don't miss anything that has to do with the Sussexes. Of course, I haven't watched the oh gosh, what is it? Suits, because I really want to watch all of the seasons, and I don't know when I'll get a chance to do that. But definitely any production from the Sussexes, I watch it. If it's a book, I'll buy it. Yep, that is true. But I loved it. Yeah, I get very frustrated when you know, I not that I'm being judgmental, but I think that as squatties, we are kind of obliged. But some people just don't have time. I understand that. But as squatties, we are obliged to keep up with that stuff. And I try to watch it as soon as I can because I don't want people to spoil it for me before I get a chance to see it. Heather, why do you have it in for those old ladies? It's bad enough that they are not sitting properly. Of course, I am the one who listen. It's just because the light is up too high. That's it. The light is up too high. I don't want to make fun of those people. Their light is up too high. That's all. If you would lower that light a little bit. You know what I mean? Overhead light, when we get to a certain age, we should not have overhead lighting. Didn't you all see Tu Wong Fu? Thank you very much for everything, Julie Newmar. Do you remember when she was like, get the light, get the light, get the light? We're not supposed to. As a matter of fact, that should be illegal. It should be illegal for certain people of a certain age to use overhead lighting. I don't use it. I like to have a nice, warm, kind of a gold tone. You know what I mean? Candlelight is, I look better. My best light is candlelight. I love candlelight. My worst light is fluorescent, bare, plain fluorescent lighting that ruins a good look. It has nothing to do with the silver foxes. Of course not. Of course not. But I tell you, I think the fact that that one guy is so into his wife, that one silver fox that just loves his wife, that is probably winning him a whole bunch of fans. That has probably made him so much more attractive to people because he's so devoted to his wife and his family. Yeah, that makes him that much more attractive. Oh, really? Lewis won a polo tournament recently, huh? Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay. All right. Well, um, hopefully there won't be anybody looking down at those ladies. I hope not. But there is a shortage of housing, and there's a lot of people who work very hard that will probably never afford uh, a new home. So, yeah, let's remember there's a lot of hardworking people who want and cannot afford decent, affordable housing. So, why do you guys keep saying chins? I don't get it. What chins? I did not see any chins. I don't get it. What chins? Chin, chin, chins. I don't know what that means. Y'all so funny. I don't know what that means, chin, chin, chins. Is that short for chinchilla, like a chinchilla coat? I don't see any fur. Chinchilla, chinchilla. I don't see any chinchillas. I don't know. Y'all play too much. I don't know what y'all talking about. Uh Listen, squaddies, we are so much better than that. You know we are better than that. So just pretend like I did not share any of this with you, okay? That way we can uphold the standards that the Sussex squad is so famous for. We're not petty people, we're loving people, and we love everybody. Regardless of what's going on, we love everybody. Yeah. uh, I just keep thinking that somebody needs to belch really bad. It's like they're trying to hold back a really big belch. Yeah. They're trying to hold back a really big belch. Claudia Sims, listen, I am being a very bad influence on you all. And when the new year comes, I promise you, I am going to be a much more responsible person for the new year. I'm going to be far more responsible in 2025, and that's the promise. Because as the Sussex squad, we have a certain standard that we have to uphold. We have a certain dignity and yeah, we have a certain dignity that we must maintain. So from here on out, well, the new year, for the new year, I am going to be a much kinder and gentler person. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. So if you all feel like following suit, if you all want to be a part of the new Royal Sussex, we're here for you. That's what's going to happen for the new year. Who knows? They may be having me come to Oslo, Norway, so that they could present some type of award or something for the new Royal Sussex. We'll see about that. Yeah, I'd be impressed if that lasts for more than a day anyway. I would be very impressed if there was a difference for a day, let alone a whole year. I haven't watched one more time. I have not watched Bridgerton yet. I don't think I'm going to stay up so late tonight. I would be embarrassed to tell you what time I've been going to bed. But let me put it to you like this. I have seen the sun go down and I've watched the sun come up. If that gives you any clue, the hours I have been keeping. But I really enjoyed Emily in Paris. That was so good. That was so good. I really loved it. I know, the Little Shop of Horrors. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to try to put together some kind of photo that includes um, Tom Parker Bowles and that Little Shop of Horrors. I'm going to have to work on something if I don't forget, but I'm going to have to work on something where I combine those two. I mean, after all, you have never seen the two of them in the same place at the same time. That plant from the Little Shop of Horrors, that man-eating plant, and Tom Parker Bowles have never been in the same room at the same time. Why is that? Okay, you all, let's say goodnight because it's going on 3 hours, and that is not what I meant to do. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Thank you, moderators, for making sure that this is the safest space possible. And did you guys see Stephen Colbert dancing at Gayle King's birthday party? Did you all see Stephen Colbert dancing at Gayle King's birthday party? When I tell you that man was singing for his supper, oh my goodness, it was so good. I didn't know he had moves like that. I mean, I know pretty much the kind of people. Uh-oh. Let me see. I got to turn that down. Oh boy. Let me see. Okay. Nope. Let me turn it down. I don't want to get that music in the background. That's why I can't. You know what? I tell you what. I'm going to share the video, but I cannot share the music. I'll do that tomorrow because I got to take that music out first. I will do that tomorrow, but it will have to minus the music. But if you can find it, it is on, let me see, it's on Oprah Daily. If you go to Oprah's Instagram, you may be able to find it. Let me see if I can get the link for you. Yeah, let me see if I can get the link for you. He was dancing with Oprah and somebody else, but I'm telling you, he got some moves. He got some serious moves. Yes, he got some serious moves. Stephen Colbert. I didn't know he had it in him, but he got some serious moves. Let me see. Oprah Daily. I'm going to get the link for you. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to mute for a second. Okay, I just didn't want the music in the background, but that's it right there. Hopefully that'll take you where you need to go. When I tell you Stephen Colbert was dancing his behind off, you hear me? I was like, you better go ahead, Stephen. Oh, yeah, that worked. That worked. So, yeah, if you go to the top of the chat and click on that link, I'm telling you, he he was doing some spinning, getting down low with it. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you, I've seen those moves before. Now, I'm not trying to make you think he was doing cartwheels into a split, but Steven was, doing his thing. He's not stiff, you know what I'm saying? He knows how to pate. He knows how to get down boogie oogie oogie. Yes. He knows how to get down and boogie oogie oogie. Yeah, Stephen Colbert. He's quite charismatic. Quite charismatic. Yeah, when he was younger, he was a little hottie. And let me tell you, Stephen Colbert knows how to enjoy life. He knows how to enjoy life and super, super intelligent. Oh my God, that man is intelligent. He is super intelligent. He's got things covered from A to Z. Sing, dance, and when he started that talk show, they were saying that, he's one of those people that that is very talented. They said that he could do all kind of stuff. He can be serious, he can be funny, he can dance, he can sing, he knows so much music. It's just a lot. He has a lot going for him. Yeah. And I still say the best interview, even if you did not have that studio audience, Stephen Colbert had the best interview with Harry. With or without an audience, he is still Stephen Colbert. Super, super talented. Look at him. Look at him. See how he got that head bopping back and forth? You see how he got that head bopping back and forth? Now, I would not be surprised if he took a DNA test and we found out that, that there's a little of the old continent of the motherland in him. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have a little bit of the motherland. Yes, get it, Stephen. I don't know how many times I'd have watched this. And when he spin around and do that look, when he spin around with his mouth open doing that look, now come on. Come on. Yes. Good night, Balaji. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, y'all. I'm fixing to go too. I'm fixing to go. You know what? That would be a good thing to close with. That would be a close thing. I mean, a good thing to close with. Let me see if I can find that. And that's what we'll close with tonight. Yes, that's a good one. Thank you, Hazel. That is a good one. Take that away. See if I can find an alternative. See if I can find an alternative. Yeah, you have just inspired me.
My wife. My wife. My wife. My wife and I. My wife and I. My wife and I. My wife and I. For me and my wife. Me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife. My incredible wife. An amazing wife. The soulmate in my wife. Thank you, my love. The mother to my children. The love of my life.
And what I know about the two of them, and I wish the world knew how much they love these two people love each other. They found each other out of all these odds against them finding each other, they found each other, and the love that they have is really, really moving. And I just wanted to do anything I could to support them.
Isn't that funny? Sometimes you know when you meet someone.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can see like what love is, and
Right.
you can tell right away.
Yeah, yeah. And if I don't have that, what she and Harry have, I don't want it.